Okay, so we have our carby tap top back on, and you can see I've made a fitting up here with a plastic tube, and that's to see where my fuel level actually is. So fingers crossed this doesn't tip. There's not fuel pouring out everywhere through this thing. We're just waiting for the carby bowl to fill up and stop. No good. Too high. It'll start dripping out here now. So back, carby top off, and I'll go back and I'll have to lap the needle and seat. All right, so the big problem was not so much the needle and seat, it's the angle that this carby's on, and you right underneath this block here you've got a little pilot drain. So I've had to get a clip on the actual needle and slide it, move it up and down the needle to get the optimum level, which I think is going to be all right. You can just see our fuel level in here, but what it has stopped is this drain. There's a tiny little drain underneath this pilot, so I'm trying to get the highest fuel level I can get without it pouring out or pissing out of here. So, and I think I've got it. That's handy having the tube to see where you're actually at. So we're ready for a start. So I'll have to get the bike off the stand and the roller starter set up, and we'll crank her over and see how we go. Yahoo buckaroo. We are ready for a start. So I think I've got the carby issue sorted out. But the next big issue is I've never seen a carby like this on a Bantam before. So I have absolutely no idea what main jet size or needle size or any of that sort of thing. So I've taken a bit of a random guess, so I don't expect this thing to run too well when we get it started, and it's going to take, I need a baseline to start working from, whether it's running lean, running rich, or hopefully it runs, but there's a chance it might not run at all, but we're about to find out. That's it. That's it. So I bring that in. Right. Alright, as you saw, not a very successful start, or attempt at start. So what I think is happening is that the orientation of this carby being that high, we've actually still got a bit of fuel coming out the pilot. So I know my needle and seat seating, and I think the float level's just too high, flooding the crap out of it. So I've got no more adjustment left on the float and the needle, so what I'm going to have to do is make a spacer to go in between this top surface of the float and here, just to lower the whole bowl down. The only problem is I don't really know how far, so I'll make something up and see if it improves it. I mean, I can get the bike to fire once you basically go close to stopping it. I just think it's flooding it badly. So, and as I said, I've still got fuel coming out the pilot, which it shouldn't really be doing. So we'll make a spacer up, put it in, and see how we go. Okay, so you can see the little spacer I've made just around here, and it's a remote bowl over the back. So by putting that spacer in, we're dropping the level of the float down there. You can see a little bit of a drip there, and that's leaking out of That's leaking out of these gaskets here because there's only a few threads left on this cap to actually clamp that up. So I don't want to screw it up too tight because I'll strip the threads out. So if this makes the engine fire a bit better, what I'm going to have to do is make a new one of these with a lot longer thread so I can put bigger spacers in and keep spacing this down until I get, hopefully, the optimum level. Okay, so I put the spacer in and it's still not really working, so I'm running out of ideas, to be honest. So I'm just going to go back, I'm going to take the tank off. I'm actually going to go through my ignition and make sure everything's all right there. There might be a broken wire or something like that. It does spark. Obviously I've pulled the plug out and have a look to make sure it's sparking. I'm just wondering now whether it, because it's so high compression, the coil might be breaking down under load, or there's a shitty connection somewhere, or I don't know. But they're all things that you've got to eliminate, because I mean I've played with the float level up and down, and then yeah, I'm just wondering whether just cranking it over might have done something to it. I don't know. But anyway, I've got to keep looking because it's not running. I've had the tank off and had a look through all my CDI stuff, and interestingly enough, the connector going into the CDI wasn't quite home. It's got a latch on it and a rubber ring, which is your waterproof ring. And I actually was able to pull it off. It wasn't fully latched home, and I thought it would. Not a great endorsement from the CDIs, is it? But anyway. So I've actually got that to latch in, and fingers crossed, that might have been it, but it was definitely connected. So I'll be, in all honesty, I'd be pretty surprised if that fixes it and gets it running. But anyway, hopefully we'll see how we go. Okay, so basically I only run with the choke on, so I might have a go at taking that spacer out in the bottom, lifting that float level up. Even though it does leak, it might be pulling enough fuel through to stop it leaking once it's running. So very happy little camper here, and it's peaking on the throttle, trust me. It's got some go. Yahoo buckaroo.